We're back. We haven't talked about the NBA in a while, and we're doing this thing where we're talking before the intro now. So, oh yeah, if you missed it, we have an intro. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with the one and only Allied Rivals podcast. My name is AJ Herschel, and I am here with my man, Caedmon Bauer. It has been a hot minute since we've been doing an episode, but Caedmon, you are an American traveler, it seems like, right now. How you doing, man?
Oh, man. I'm a little bit tired, but I'm really happy to get back into the Allied Rivals swing of things. So, yeah, I'm doing great, AJ. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Like March Madness is finishing up, which is incredible. This is one of the best years, even with, everything's been going on. Still one of the most fun years to watch for sure. And, getting busy. I'm going to be leaving for a couple days soon. So that should be a fun trip. But, yeah, like we always say, always good to be back for an Allied Rivals podcast. So, not really missing much. Today we're going to be talking about the NBA. It's been a while since we've talked about that season, as I said in the intro. And we know we've got other stuff to cover, all right? There's NFL free agency, and we're going to wrap up March Madness soon, which sounds good. So hopefully we'll get those in maybe tomorrow. We'll at least get one or two of those episodes done. Lightning Bauer in the comment section says, great having you guys back. It's great to be back, isn't it, Caedmon?
Yeah, it is, for sure.
It is. I miss doing this all the time, but hopefully we'll get a little more consistent at some point. But Lightning Bauer, good to have you with us as well. So, Caedmon, I think we just go ahead and jump right into talking about the NBA right now.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Before we even talk about the teams, there's a couple of injury stuff and some other trades, and let's go ahead and get into yours first, because I know you've got to be interested in this. The Bucks picked up PJ Tucker along with extending Jrue Holiday for another 4 seasons. But this is the trade right here. They got PJ Tucker, Rodion Kurucs, and his first-round pick from 2022, which I think was like their original one or something like that. And they are giving up DJ Augustin, DJ Wilson, and a 2023 unprotected first-round pick to Houston, which I believe they can also swap if necessary if their pick ends up being better. Caedmon, I know you're the super big Bucks fan. I'm really interested to hear your take on this. And he's actually disappeared right now. See, this is the thing with doing live streams. You never know what's going to happen, but he's back, ladies and gentlemen. So you're the Bucks fan, Cade. What do you think about this trade for mostly PJ Tucker? What do you think about him? What do you think about what you gave up?
PJ Tucker's great, and we'll take another first-round pick, since we don't have a ton of those. I don't know. DJ, I mean, he's gotten some playing time, but he hasn't proved to be great. And the other DJ, I don't know. I don't know what I think about him. He's been on the Bucks for a few years, and he's always just kind of been on the bench. And this year he's hardly played at all because we have actually a pretty good bench right now. I don't know. I think we won this one, to be honest. I don't think we gave up much, and I think PJ Tucker is pretty good. So I'll take it.
Yeah, I think so too. He's a very good role player and a good shooter. So I think this is definitely a really great add-on for the Bucks, especially on offense, because we already know their defense is really good. And I mean, what they gave up, like you said, Augustin and Wilson are fine role players, but I know you and I were concerned about the Bucks early in the season about trading away what was basically their entire bench to get Jrue Holiday. I mean, they're sitting at third in the conference and they're only a game and a half out of first place. So I think they're looking okay. I think PJ Tucker definitely helps. And like you said, trading away another first-round pick, I mean, what are they going to use them on? They're trying to make a push for the finals right now. So I'm in agreement with you. I think the Bucks probably won the trade as well. And with Houston, man, their roster is just dead. It is just completely depleted. Their team is they're tanking, and it's hard to believe that just a couple of years ago, this is a team that made it to the Western Conference Finals against the Warriors perennially. perennially. And now they're sitting at the bottom of the Western Conference, just above the T-Wolves. So really hard fall for them.
Yeah, they are. Don't they have like the longest losing streak they've had in like who knows how long?
Yeah, they've lost. Not anymore. They've only lost 4 in a row now. But
well, they had a long one. They were like
it was pretty brutal. Yeah.
Yeah.
And shockingly enough, another trade. The Bulls made a trade, and I was not expecting this, but I'm happy. I'm happy about it. I'm happy about it. We got arguably the best center in basketball in Vucevic. And, I mean, we didn't give up a lot. I mean, Wendell Carter and Otto Porter Jr. are both very good role players and had been for us. And then we gave up 2 first-rounders, which if you just look about it in terms of the draft picks, we just gave up 2 first-rounders, and who knows what kind of rookies we're going to get for the best center in basketball, one of the best big men all-star Vucevic in basketball. Now, the results of this is we lost like 6 straight games, to which was not that was not fun to watch, and I got to see us drop almost outside of the playoff picture right now. But I think if they get it together, he and Levine already have a really good connection, I can tell. I'm excited for what Vucevic is going to bring to the team, and we needed a big man. Bad. We've got people that can shoot. We've got Levine. We've got Markkanen. We've got a good shooting lineup, but we needed somebody to crash the boards. And Vuce is already getting double-doubles. Already. He's leading our team in points per game almost in the last games that he's played in. So I'm very excited about adding him. Did we give up a little much? Sure, but this is for one of the best players in basketball right now, so I'm not too torn up about it. Caedmon, what do you think real quick?
Hey, I do not know what's happening, but I cannot hear you, and I'm trying to fix my headphones, so I will be back in a minute, AJ.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for letting me know. I'm just going to go check our live stream right now and make sure that's not just me. Okay, we're good there. But let's move on to something else that's been talking about in the NBA as well, and we'll get Caedmon in on it. Aaron Gordon, multi-time dunk participant, should have won it, is going to go with the Nuggets, and the Magic got Gary Harris, rookie RJ Hampton, and Denver's protected 2025 first-round pick. And this one is big, in my opinion. I really think this is huge for the Nuggets. This is a team that's sitting kind of in the middle of the Western Conference. We already know that Jokic is just incredible. We already know that he's one of the best players in basketball, an MVP frontrunner as well. And we will be talking about the MVP, who our current MVP is in a little bit. But I think this is big for them. I think this is very, very big for them. Aaron Gordon has already made an instant impact. He's a great shooter, a great scorer, a great person driving to the basket. I'm super excited to see what he does the rest of the year. I think this is catapult to the Nuggets once again to top 3. Oh my goodness. And he plays good defense as well. He's a flashy, smart player who can pass it well, and I'm very excited to see what he does on the Nuggets as well. Caedmon, you back with us, man?
Yes, sir. I'm back.
All right, he's back. What do you think about Mr. High Flyer Aaron Gordon?
Oh, Aaron Gordon's insane. I mean, he was just what the Nuggets needed, another high scorer. I don't think the Nuggets could have done better, really. I mean, the Magic are really getting a lot of players and trying to stack their roster with guys they can keep on their bench and just like a lot of sixth men type guys. But the Nuggets, I think they really won this one. I mean, Aaron Gordon, he's a veteran in the NBA, and he's really experienced, and he has a ton of talent still. And I don't know, I don't think the Nuggets could have done better.
I think I'm in complete agreement with you there as well. I think Aaron Gordon is definitely going to be huge, especially for the future. And with the Magic, man, house fire much? Aaron Gordon and Vucevic, this is like the definition of tanking. They're amassing young players and picks and just trading away everybody that could have given them a push. This team last year made the Bucks sweat for like 5 minutes in the playoffs, and now all of their stars are gone. 1 year removed. They're done. So hey, it is what it is. If you're a Magic fan, I'm very, very sorry about that. Another thing that a lot of people have been talking about is the NBA buyouts, and the two biggest ones that Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge are now Brooklyn Nets for a team that already wasn't stacked enough, clearly. And this is crazy to me, man. This is crazy. This is a team that already, I mean, Durant's going to be back soon. Harden was just being rested last game, which is part of the reason why the Bulls even had a shot. But now you've got Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge. They just play 50% of what they used to be when they were stars. I think the Nets are set. What do you think, man?
This is insane. This Nets team is going to be insane. I mean, they already have Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving, who have all been the best at a certain time, and they're all playing together well. And we're going to talk about this later. But once we have them all healthy together, and this team's already unstoppable, and then you get Blake Griffin, who can be the best as well. And I am just wondering when it's going to stop, because their starting roster, their starting five are already insane. And I thought, man, there's no way they can get better and still have money. And yet the Nets still have money.
Yep.
Still have picks.
Yep.
And they have the best starting roster already, and they're getting Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
It's crazy. I mean, the NBA salary cap is already super weird in how it works, and people go over and all that. But, I mean, this is a team that now has James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin, and LaMarcus Aldridge. And, yeah, they traded away, like, a bunch of their bench. We already know that. But Joe Harris has been playing well in a starting position for sure. So I think this team right now, is, if they keep it up, might be a front runner for the chain. I mean, they're already front runners, but might be my like number one team to take the NBA Finals as it is, no matter how good the Jazz and the 76ers are playing, just because they're so stacked and because they have great chemistry as well when they're all healthy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Moving on somewhere else, another trade happened. The Rockets got Avery Bradley, Kelly Olynyk, and 2020 first-round swap rights, and, you know, the Heat just got a pretty fine player in Victor Oladipo. What do you think about this, Cade?
The Rockets are losing everyone. They don't have really anyone left. No one wants to be there. Anyone that has some potential talent is leaving, and the Rockets are in full rebuild mode.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing with the Rockets is they haven't even traded away, like, they've traded away their best players, and no offense, but they haven't gotten like a huge return on investment for the most part. This is a team that also lost James Harden earlier in the year to a bunch of fine starters and picks. The Rockets are just tanking excessively right now, in my opinion. And Victor Oladipo, I think, is going to do great. I think that is a really, really big and possibly underrated addition to join the Miami Heat, who already have Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, and of course, Big Man Bam Adebayo. So,
Bam.
Oh my goodness, crazy! It's a steal. It's a steal for them, in my opinion. It's crazy. Another one, Rajon Rondo is going to the Clippers now, which is interesting. How do you think he's going to perform? Because there's always been the jokes of, you know, regular season Rondo and playoff Rondo. Yeah. But how do you think he'll perform in a stranger Clippers system? I mean, he literally just swapped teams. He drove his bus across the street.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm confused about Rondo. It just depends on how he plays. Like you said, regular season or playoff. Two different guys. It always seems like, who knows? Something might change, and he might be good the whole time, or he might stink the whole time. I have no clue. Just seeing how fast he gets the chemistry going and understand. I mean, he's going to be with another great team, one of the best. So it's not like he's going to the Rockets where he has no one else to help. He's going to the Clippers, and so I think he'll be fine. He'll have supporting teammates and good coaches, so I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think that this team is going to be very, very good. Once again, I mean, it's the Clippers. And Rondo, I watched his game against the Lakers. He was fine. I mean, he's coming off the bench, 3 points in 13 minutes or something like that. But it was his first game there, so I mean, it'll get better as it goes on. I think he'll be a fine addition. He's a fine role player off the bench for the Clippers, in my opinion.
Yeah.
One other one, the buyouts. Lakers got Andre Drummond, which is crazy. They just, yeah, sure, let's get another big man to join the roster. I think this is another great move. What do you think?
Yeah, the Lakers just are all big men now. Like, let's be real. I mean, they just keep going. And when like AD was out, they just brought in more big men, and now they have another AD, and it's not stopping. I mean, the Lakers are all. I mean, not all of them are crazy athletic, but most of them are pretty athletic, and they're all big guys. So
and Dennis Schroeder, him too.
And Dennis Schroeder, him too. Yes, of course. And I mean, you could move most of them from like any of them could play anything except point guard. Like they really could. Yeah. And I mean, they're a good team, and they're making the best of every move.
Yeah. Definitely. I am a little bit concerned about them. One of our injury things that popped up is that LeBron is going to be out for a month with his ankle injury, and it's like 3 to 5 weeks, however his injury goes.
Painful.
But it did. That looked bad.
Writhing. Yeah,
but Anthony Davis is going to be back soon. And as lame as the Lakers looked against the Clippers this week, and as underwhelming as that game was, someone I know is a big Lakers fan. They're watching it with me. They left the room, came back, and said, "How's it going?" And I said, "Oh yeah, the Lakers are down by 20." What? But as crazy as that is, I think they'll be fine eventually, right? I mean, AD's going to be back. They'll be fine. They'll get Drummond. Schroeder's still there. I think they'll be okay, even despite the injuries to LeBron and AD. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they kind of had like a few game losing streak with LeBron out, right?
Yeah.
I think once AD's back, I mean, those are their two best players, obviously, two All-Stars, two of the best. But once AD is back, I think he'll be able to kind of run things. He's a really great team leader, and he's almost like a coach, to be honest, a coach that plays basketball. And I think once he's in there, really kind of he'll get Andre Drummond into the swing of things. He'll get everyone else kind of going, and I don't know. Him and LeBron are both equally really great team leaders, and I think once you got one back, they'll be all good.
Yeah, I think I'm in complete agreement with it. And this isn't even talking about how deep their team is, too. Kyle Kuzma's finally starting to come into his own. He's averaging 12 points a game right now and also 7 rebounds a game. Dennis Schroeder is a great leader on the offense to run point, and Montrezl, however you pronounce his name, Montrezl Harrell has been doing very well, too. So I think once LeBron and AD are back, like you said, they'll be fine. This is a team that averages the second most offensive points in a game. So I think they'll be completely fine. They'll be fine. And I was listening to Jalen Rose a couple days ago, and he was like, there's a 30% chance that the Lakers end up getting stuck in that new playoff bubble that they're doing. And I said, what? Come on, man. I get they have a tough schedule. I get that LeBron's out for a while, but there's no way the Lakers fall down to 7 with 25 games remaining about. There's no way. I don't think it happens.
No, I mean, this team is without LeBron is still just like you look at that roster and it's as good as like say the Heat, who I mean they're getting another guy and they're going to be a good team. I think once they start heating up. I mean they already have a ton of great guys, but I think they kind of look similar to the Heat in some of their gameplay, especially when they didn't have LeBron in. And I think I think they're better, but I don't know. I think the Lakers are just too good to not make it. I mean, I think once you get into the playoffs and you're playing, say, the Clippers and LeBron is still kind of trying to get back and he's not at full health or whatever, but that's going to be in a long time, and that shouldn't be like that. That's the only reason I would worry, but they're in the playoffs. Like, come on. They basically put Dash X right there. Come on.
Yeah, there we go. Meanwhile, another team that has had some injury problems was first LaMelo Ball was thought to be out for the season with a fractured wrist. Now he may not be. The surgery went very, very well, and Gordon Hayward is out again. I think everybody on earth predicted that. But Caedmon, let's say LaMelo does come back. What does this mean for the Charlotte Hornets? They are half a game outside of the Eastern Conference playoff bubble, but they are hanging on by a thread. The team just below them, the Boston Celtics, absolutely blew them out by 30 points in their last meeting. Do you think that even if he does come back, is that going to be enough to save their season?
I have no clue with the Hornets. I mean, LaMelo Ball is really a really talented young guy, and if he comes back, he's definitely a help. But their season, it's really weird. It's looking really, really iffy, and I'm not sure what to think about them because they'll have games where just everyone's scoring at least 15. Like you have 8 guys scoring at least 15, and LaMelo say scores 25, and he's really pumping everyone up. And then there are other games where no one is scoring, and you see them get like less than 80 and playing no defense, and they're just a confusing team to me. I don't know what to think about them.
Very confusing. Very confusing. That's pretty much everything. I mean, there was some other stuff. JJ Redick is joining the Mavericks, which I think is definitely going to be good for them. I know the Trailblazers also made some moves at the deadline, but I think that that's most of all the trade things that are out there. But Lightning Bauer brings up a point that we talked about a little bit earlier, but let's touch on it more. How about Jrue Holiday getting a 4-year extension?
4-year extension.
I know we said earlier at the beginning of the year that we were like, the trade was, they gave up a lot, but it could have had a good return on investment. We've seen 2/3 of the season with Jrue. How are you feeling about him right now, Cade?
I like it. I like how he's playing. I don't know exactly what he's averaging, but at least from the games I've watched and really been keeping track of, he's usually scoring at least around 20, it seems like. It seems like him and Chris Middleton are really working together well. And I don't know, he's a playmaker. I'll just put it that way. He's a playmaker. And he's fast, and he honestly plays pretty good defense too. So I'm happy about Jrue Holiday. I'll take it.
Very nice. I think he's going to play well with them for the rest of the season as well, and he's looked very good. Very, very good. Lightning Bauer also asked, will Steph Curry end up on the Lakers someday? Kind of out there question, but Caedmon, what do you think? His contract is up after this season. He's got one more year after that. So his 2022-23 season, he will be an unrestricted free agent. Do you think this happens, Kate? Steph Curry joining LA?
No way. He's not a big man. I don't know.
Wow.
I wouldn't be completely surprised, but I don't know if Steph Curry would want to go play with LeBron and AD. I'm not sure. What do you think?
Will LeBron even be around at that point? That's my question. That's in another 2 years.
Oh, yeah. He's the Tom Brady of the NBA.
Currently, yeah. Yeah.
What do you think, AJ? What do you want to play? Say LeBron's still there. What do you want to play with LeBron?
I don't know who wouldn't, especially if AD is still there. Like from a just player standpoint, Curry and LeBron and AD is probably the best trio one of us have ever seen. Lightning Bauer, so they asked that question on Around the Horn, my favorite ESPN show, a couple of days ago. I think it could happen. And I mean, someday he's getting older probably than a lot of us realize, but he's still got a good amount of years left. I think it'll be very telling on how he plays next season as well. We know he's still had consistent ankle injuries throughout his entire career. I think someday he definitely could end up on the Lakers, but unless something happens to Klay as well, I think if Klay leaves first, then he might head over to LA. But if Klay stays and Draymond is still there and Steph is still there, I think the Warriors are going to try to reload and rebuild in the next few years. What do you think, Cade?
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, for Steph going and playing with LeBron, say he's there, I don't know if he wants to. I mean, I'm sure he'd want to play with like one of the greatest of all time, but it's also one of his biggest rivals of all time, playing in championships against him. And I don't know. I mean, I think they're big rivals, but at the same time, I could see why two of the best that have been over this decade would want to play together, you know? I don't know. I could see it happening.
All right. Jacob Carlson in the chat saying, sheesh. They back, and it's our man, Jacob Carlson. Good to see you once again in the chat, man. Let us know what you think about the current state of the NBA. Always good to have you with us as well. So, Caedmon, that is pretty much everything on the trade and injury side of things. So we'll just wrap this up with a couple NBA-related questions. Let's start with this. We're 2/3 of the way through the season. Who are your current top 3 MVP candidates?
Tied for third. Giannis and James Harden.
Ooh, very interesting.
All right, how about you, AJ? What's your number 3?
My number 3 is probably Joel Embiid at this point. He's been playing extremely well. He's averaging a double-double, and the Sixers have the best record. Okay, down by half a game, but basically the best record in the East with the Brooklyn Nets. So he is currently sitting at my number 3.
All right. My number 2 is Joel Embiid.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm ranked a little higher than you.
All right. I see you.
Who you got there?
For me, my number 2, Jacob Carlson literally just called it Dame time. He's actually my number 2. I know the Blazers as a team are kind of sitting on the outside of the bubble, but he has been carrying this team on his back. He's averaging 30 points a game right now. He is definitely really big for me. I think that he's my number 2 just because of how incredible he's been playing solo. Really big, really big. What about you, Cade? What about you?
My number 1 is Nikola Jokic.
Same here. All right, there we go.
He's insane. I mean, he's like at least top 7 in every stat.
I know.
Like.
10 triple doubles this year already. It's crazy.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, he's been absolutely incredible, and I think he has like 36 double doubles or something like that.
Yeah,
42 games he's played. It's ridiculous. The guy is almost averaging a triple double. The guy's almost averaging a triple double. It's crazy. Jacob Carlson also dropping some stuff about Dame time. He drops it when it counts. Yes, he does. See, this is something interesting. I know everybody talks about clutch players in the NBA, but right now I don't think there's anybody more clutch than Dame time outside of Jalen Suggs. But still, I don't think there's anybody more clutch than Dame time in the NBA right now. I know there's LeBron. I know there's Steph. But give me the ball and give to one person. Give it to the guy who can hit it from anywhere on the court right now.
Make a point there, man.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Couple other questions for us. Winners and losers from the NBA trades and buyouts, Cade. What'd you like? What'd you not like?
Who won? Oh, man. I mean, I want to say the Heat won. Who lost? I don't know what the Rockets are doing. They're losers. Sorry, guys. I mean, the Lakers are in great shape, it feels like. At least from their roster, especially when they get LeBron back. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about the Magic. You know, they've gotten a lot of players. They're trying to build a roster.
They got a lot of picks.
Yeah, they got a lot of picks too. They're just hoping that the guys they're getting have potential skill or whatever. I don't know. Magic I'm keeping my eye on them.
Yeah. For me, my winners and losers, big winner for me, the Brooklyn Nets. Once again, just absolutely mastering the buyouts. And I know a lot of people hate them, but look, players aren't necessarily going to buy out to a team that's sitting in 10th place. Like, no offense, no one's going to buy out to play on the Pacers right now. Nobody's going to buy out to play on the Bulls right now for the most part, unless there's a connection they have with the player already there. They're going to want to go to the best teams to get their best shot at a ring. So I think it makes sense. Nets are definitely my big winner right now. And then on top of that, after the trade deadline, I think the Bucks too, they're a big winner. I thought PJ Tucker was a very good addition for them. And like you said, Rockets is just that. I'm sorry. I just don't think they're getting enough from the players that they've been giving up all year. I'm sorry. They're probably my loser right now, along with you, Cade.
Hey, but right now, AJ, I'm surprised. I was just looking at this, and the Rockets are up 107-104 against the Suns, who have been the brightest star of the past 25 games.
Interesting.
So, I mean, they're up at 1 right now, but
interesting.
It's late. It's in the 4th, and you don't see that a lot. The Rockets have not been playing well. So.
Yeah, we'll see where that ends up.
And the Suns don't lose a lot, so
yeah, very true. Very true. Well, speaking of the Suns, you got any early playoff predictions for us, Cade? I mean, the Jazz, the Suns coming out of nowhere. What are you looking at right now? What are your projections for the playoffs as it sits?
I mean, the Suns, they're going off right now. I mean, they went 8-0 last year, right before the bubble, and that was cool.
Yeah,
I mean, they didn't make the playoffs, but that was cool. It showed they finished the season well. And right now, them and the Jazz are just so close. The Jazz just lost, and they're just I think Phoenix is only like it looks like 3 games back, but looks like the Jazz did a lot more. I don't know. I think the Nets right now are my pick right now to go to the finals.
Interesting.
They're just let's just put it this way: their roster is just too good. They're all just too good, you know?
Yeah, I could totally see that. For me, my current front runner is still the Utah Jazz. Why? They're 22-2 at home. You can't walk into Utah right now and win. And I know that this is without fans or whatever, still, the minimal fans, but still, Utah is playing incredibly, incredibly well. They've dominated in their conference all season. They've just been a force to be reckoned with. They're currently my number one right now for winning it all. After that, it's the Nets and then the Sixers after that also for taking it. And then, there's a couple of other teams left. I think the Bulls end up making a push to get higher in the bracket as well. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. I think the Celtics play themselves out of the bubble and into the top of the playoffs. They have been the definition of mediocre right now this year, but I trust Brad Stevens. I think Kemba Walker's finally going to turn it up to another level, especially since the Hornets are losing Gordon Hayward and LaMelo Ball for weeks on end, and they're the team that's ahead of them right now. I'm not sure how to feel about the Knicks still. I don't think the Pacers and Bulls are going to catch them. So I think the Celtics are going to be able to play well enough down the stretch to get themselves in that top 6. That is my hot take for today.
So, AJ, do you think Miami is going to stay in the playoffs? Like, is going to make the playoffs?
Yeah, I think they definitely will, especially after the trades that they made at the deadline. Especially after that. They're heating up kind of when it matters. They're 4-6 in their last 10 right now, but I think they'll find their footing. This team is very good, and they've got great chemistry. I think they'll get it back together.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Caedmon, one question for you then. Do you think the Nuggets make a run at the number 1 seed with Aaron Gordon now?
Yes, and they're amazing. Yeah. And, I mean, Denver's not too far behind. They're 6 it's kind of far behind.
6.5
6 or so games back.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they're pretty much in third. I mean, they're right around the same record as the Clippers. Yeah. The Suns are on fire as well.
True, very true.
And all of the teams up there are like 8-2 in their last 10, except the Lakers because of LeBron. But
and AD.
I don't know. The Nuggets could get hot, and AD, of course. The Nuggets could get hot and just go off and go on like a 20-game winning streak. I could totally see that. But even if they do, I don't think the Jazz are going to lose that many games.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
6 in those 20 games. And I don't think they're going to catch the Jazz unless Rudy Gobert, a couple guys get injured.
Very true. Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell. I don't know.
They need him, Mike Conley, a whole bunch of other people to go.
It's true. It's true. Yep. They're just too far behind now, in my opinion.
Yep, I agree. Well, final question, Caedmon. This is the first year the NBA playoff bubble is going to be implemented. For those of you who don't know, the top 6 teams in each conference automatically make the playoffs, but instead of the last 2, 7 and 8, automatically making it, instead, 7 and 8 will play a 1-game playoff as well as 9 and 10. The winner of the 7-8 game automatically gets the 7 seed. The loser of the 7-8 game, and stick with me, the winner of the 9 and 10 game play to find out who gets the final seed. Caedmon, we're starting to see how these teams are going to shape up, and it's pretty similar to how the NBA has looked in years past in terms of records, at least. So what do you think? Do you think the bubble's a good idea with really getting the best teams in there? How do you think? What do you think about it? I can already tell you're laughing.
I think it's a little funny, and I'm confused. Like, who thought of this? I mean, it's like, let's see how complicated we can make this. Oh, man. And then they try to get the 11 and 12 in there, and then someone tells them to cool off. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's a little bit funny and maybe a little bit overdone, but it could be good for, like, say, a team that's starting to come back, like the Bulls. Like, you're hoping they're going to kind of get higher up in their rankings and their seedings. So let's say they don't, and say they stick at around like 10 or 9. then they could make the playoffs if they win those 2 games, say against the Pacers and Knicks, whatever.
Yeah.
And that could be really great, or it could be really terrible because that would mean you're say your 7 seed has a way better record than your 10 seed, and they can't rest guys anymore because they need to try to get that 6 seed, Like, I don't know. I don't like it, to be honest.
Really?
I'm just going to say I don't like it.
Yeah.
AJ,
For
you
me,
like it?
I feel like this is the best. I think it is good at determining who is the best of the mediocre. I will say that. I think that is what it does very well, because as we've talked about before, the top 3 teams in each conference are absolutely dominant, or in the West, your top 5 teams. But then in the East, it's just a slew of, the Hawks are the 4 seed and they're 2 games above 500 right now. So in the Western Conference, I like it because this gives a better chance for teams like, you remember the Suns winning their 9 final games of the season to get even having a chance. So I think in the Western Conference, this makes sense. It rewards teams for playing well down the stretch. I like it there. In the Eastern Conference, whatever. I mean, they're gonna lose to the Nets and Sixers or Bucks anyway.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it because I think it's good for the West. So I like
you like it. All right.
I like it. To a point. Zach in the comment section coming in late for us saying, hello there. Well, hello to you, Zach. Good to have you with us. Saw you in the comment section on a couple of our other videos. Let us know. What do you think about the NBA right now and the bubble and all this crazy stuff? But Caedmon, that's pretty much it for us. Do you have anything else to say on the NBA before we check off for tonight?
I don't think I have anything on the NBA right now.
Right.
But I do have one thing. Just want to keep you guys updated.
Yes.
Baylor versus Gonzaga. I need Gonzaga to win. We'll talk about this later. But right now, Baylor is up by 10 at halftime.
Ooh.
They took an early lead 9-0, and they're still going.
Not looking back.
Gonzaga's kind of struggling right now. It seems like. But, hey, just 10 points. Anything could happen, but this is exciting.
All right. Sounds
good.
Gonzaga. Go Zags. Zach coming in saying, can't believe I finally made it live. Yeah, we don't exactly have the most consistent upload schedule as of right now, but we're working on it. We're glad you're able to catch us. Don't worry, everyone. Yeah, at some point. Don't worry, everyone. We will be getting our NFL video, and tomorrow, you definitely want to be checking in. Most likely we'll be doing our March Madness wrap-up, talking about our brackets, who won our Allied Rivals Bracket Challenge, and what happened to the end of Baylor Gonzaga, and we might get in our NFL episode as well. Be sure to check out our Allied Rivals Shorts playlist once again on our channel. We've got quick 5-minute opinionated videos on various sports questions. And Cade, is it you coming up with the next one, I believe? You got the gears turning on that one?
It is me, yeah.
All right,
yeah.
Sounds good. Well, we'll be sure to be able to look up
about that one, yeah.
All right, yeah. Sounds good. So you definitely want to be subbed with notifications on. Thank you all so much for tuning in today to another episode of Allied Rivals Podcast. Jacob Carlson, Lightning Bauer, Zach, thanks for being in the comment section. Comment below. What do you think about the NBA right now? Who's your front runner for MVP, number 1 seeds, and of course the illustrious NBA Finals trophy as well? I'm AJ Herschel. That's Caedmon Bauer. We'll see you guys next time on the one and only Allied Rivals Podcast. See you next time.
See ya.
See ya.